Hi guys, welcome back to Eastgate Monster. This is Neil. Okay, so before I start really, let's have a look at the Team Trampa, the two guys that were here, and their jumps. This is what I aspire to be able to do one day. Would love to be able to ride like that. Okay, so what I've just done is, if you haven't watched the other film, just before this I was riding with the yellow dampers in, and I was having to bounce round. What I've done now is 15 minutes later, after I'd taken out the dampers completely, so I'm just running on the springs here. The board just moves completely different. I was really struggling. My best side is generally my toe side, but heel side was absolutely rubbish before, and now not having to do any bouncing around whatsoever. The board just feels so much smoother. It's just so much more responsive. Just taking corners, there you go, nice little heel side. Being able to actually get reasonably close to people, not having to worry too much. Don't get it right all the time, obviously. So as I come down the slope here, you see that I get that corner really nicely. Now this was what I did 15 minutes before, where I had to bounce round. Okay, that's what I was doing with the yellow dampers. Now back to normal. That makes so much difference, not having to bounce around like that and just being able to almost glide round. The amount of lean that I can now use on the board, it just makes such a difference. Now I've got a feeling that after being able to ride like this without the dampers, I think you'd have more trust in the board of what you could actually do, and maybe when using the dampers I'll be able to put more trust in the board. So, but at the moment for this run, I say what I did is to have the dampers out. Now there's a section coming up here just as I come down the slope, and for some reason just here it feels like that the brakes weren't working. As I come down here, the brakes just weren't kicking in. And this happened just because I had too much speed. What I have been doing before is just slowing down as I was as I was coming down, and so just that little bit too much speed on it. Not a problem though. Adds to the fun. But this whole turning just adds a whole new kind of dimension. I just feel like riding like that just helped me step up a level from what I was doing, and you started to get the feel that you could actually really lean into the turns, which obviously helped for going up the slopes. Really helped for keeping the speed on. Now this is just what happened at the event is we had 15 minutes, and there was 20 of us going around, and there was another 20, so we then took 15 minutes break, and we had 4 lots of that, so we had 4 times around, 4 sessions. And this is just my first session, so without the dampers, so it's the second session. Now after this session I didn't film my third and fourth, it's not as easy to ride holding a selfie stick with the 360 camera, and I wanted to have some other goes without actually trying to film at the same time. But I feel like I just got better and better. Sorry to Scott there for me taking a not such a great line there. And Scott wasn't able to get straight up. He needed a little bit of a run up there. I think Scott is running the belt drive rather than the spur drive. And but yeah, again, like here, he's just really leaning into the corner nicely. And you guys that have been following me and my progression, this was just like, it feels like a game changer. It really does. It's just like, you know, smoothly going round. You know, as I'm coming round the corner, reasonable speed, really leaning into it here. And then obviously this is hillside, leaning in on a hillside, double lean again there. Coming around this corner, it's really, it was just so much fun. So much fun, even to the point where starting to try and follow or even try and overtake people on corners, which obviously isn't necessarily such a good idea, but it was just so much fun. So much fun, because before, you know, I was coming around here, I was bouncing at this point. This was bounce, 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 and again as we come around here, bounce, bounce, bounce. You know, it just felt so smooth, guys. It's so fun. So anyone out there, if you are riding a Trampa and you are feeling like you are struggling to turn, and that Trampas are great for speed and acceleration but not a lot of turning, you have to change your dampers, or try the board without the dampers. I know that it's a case of you're going to have to, if you want to do speed and you've got no dampers in, you're going to get a speed wobble. So, you know, you've got to balance it between your turning and your speed. Now, after this, I came home and ordered the Trampa barrels. Now, Trampa barrels, I'm going to do a whole film about that, if not two, about the Trampa barrels. But apparently it is halfway between having dampers and not having dampers, and most people aren't experiencing speed wobbles with it. So you're going to get that extra turn and hopefully not get any speed wobbles. But you see, that was a hill turn there. That was just, I'm just leaning into it and it's turning. I mean, this was just so much fun. I say it is harder when you are holding a camera, especially if you don't want to crash and smash your camera into the floor. But it just feels so smooth, guys. So yeah, I highly recommend try changing up or taking your dampers out. Try even getting the not as strong dampers. Just experiment with your board. If you're not getting the turning that you think you should be able to, whether it's down to your ability compared to people that you think are so much better than you, and they may be. But if you're not getting it, you know, you've got to push hard to try and experiment with things, try new things. If you don't wear lots of pads, get some pads, stick lots of pads on, make sure you're wearing a helmet, and just try some stuff you wouldn't normally be trying. Push yourself that little bit further if you want to get better on your board. If you're happy going in a straight line and you're happy with what you do, that's absolutely great. This is just about enjoyment, guys. I enjoy wanting to try and push myself, wanting to try and get slightly better, I have an idea, you know, I would aspire to be like the guys at the beginning of the film, and that's where one day, it may take many years, if I'm not just too damn old by then, to try and achieve some of that stuff. See back there, I even overtook somebody. Oh, and not to forget, thank you very much, guys, at Evolve for organising this, and even better for organising for pizza to be there for us guys, which was absolutely brilliant. Here's some of the other guys that were on the track that evening. I think everybody was just having a great time, and it was just absolutely wicked to have a nice dry venue. Everybody having a great time. Right, good to see you guys. Okay, so after a great evening, time to head home. Time to go and order those barrels. And if you don't know what the barrels are, instead of the springs on the trucks, it is a nice rubber. Anyway, there'll be a film out about that soon. Take care, guys. Catch you later.